Lovely, lovely sunny day
It is
in
indeed.
Cofield. Is it Cockfield?
It's Cockfield.
Is it? So how long have you been here?
13 years.
You're the rural dean for a really quite a wide geographical area. To give us a bit of an idea of the area that you cover in that role.
Our deanery covers Elmswell and Woolpit, sort of bordering on the A14. To the west, Stanningfield, Great Wellneath and Rushbrook, sort of just on the edge of the outskirts of Bury St Edmunds. And to the south, we go right down to Monk's Ely on the way to Hadley. And to the east, we cover Rattleston Benefice, which sort of borders on the Stowmarket Deanery. Mostly rural. Elmswell Village is a village, but it's very large. Some would say it's kind of suburban. And Woolpit, again, sort of suburban. But yes, mostly small rural communities.
You worked in the NHS for a long time, and then you
Yes.
were gradually stepped towards ministry, didn't you?
Yes, I was what's now known as a self-supporting minister for 7 years, although I was known when I was first ordained as an ordained local minister, because I trained on a local diocesan ministry course which had been set up. And so for 7 years I served in 2 benefices, both in Ipswich, and I had always planned to really finish my ministry in the urban setting, but God had other plans.
Talk to me a little bit about the types of communities that are surrounding those parish churches in this area.
Well, predominantly they are older people, but we have a lot of people who've moved into the area who are semi-retired or retired. So I come across a lot of retired teachers, lawyers, dentists, doctors. Not so many people who have grown up and have aged and lived in the villages all their lives now. That is much less so than it was, say, 50 years ago. There are pockets of families who, I have 2 schools in my benefice. We have a number of church schools dotted around the deanery, as well as community schools, and I think most of us who are ordained within the patch have good relationships with our schools. I know I certainly do. We have a number of lay elders who mostly are pastoral, but we do have 1 or 2 who are worship elders. They are the ones who keep the whole thing going, really, along with huge amounts of volunteers who maintain the building, make sure the grass is cut in the churchyard. I mean, churchyards need a lot of maintenance. They take up an awful lot of time, energy and money. As a deanery, we're very keen to do our bit towards net zero carbon.
Yeah.
And we have a net zero carbon champion in the deanery in the shape and form of Revd Richard Stainer, and he is very happy to help churches in the deanery to apply for their eco award and to advise them on various things around there. And we've encouraged churches to use their churchyards for wilding and preserving wildlife. So that's one of the things we're wanting to do, and that's all within our deanery plan for growth.
Yes.
Because we believe that young people are really interested in the preservation of the world, of the earth.
Incredibly important to the future, but it's so relatable to so much of God's creation.
It is. When you look to Genesis and all that is said within the Bible, that is one of the things that God wants us to do, and it's within the 5 marks of mission to tend and care for the earth. So yeah, we take that very seriously. Well, prayer undergirds everything that I do. As a priest, you say, and I'm sure Dominic and Chris echoed this, that prayer is the beginning of the day and the ending of the day. You know, whenever we gather together as a chapter, as a deanery, we have greater chapter meetings. Prayer is at the heart of that. We don't have a meeting or an event without prayer being at the beginning and the end. It feeds us.
One of the lovely things about this project is that you'll be praying and talking about your deanery and the people you know and following morning prayer as it is. But of course there's an opportunity for the other 15 deaneries to find out more about what's going on in your area and to come to forces for the power of prayer. And
Yes.
Even in our first 2 or 3 weeks, we've had 600 or 700 people joining us each day, which is
that's amazing.
amazing.
Yes.
So,
And I shall be praying for the various incumbents that we have within the chapter, for all that they are trying to do. We've had a little bit of a change of personnel in the last few years. New incumbents bring new ideas, new expressions of faith, and so I should be praying for all the new initiatives they've started, for the Lavenham 500 events, for the mums and tots groups that have started at Revd and in Rattleston, for the bereavement group that Sharon Thompson has started. You know, there are so many things that we're now trying to do as a deanery.
please do join Sharon at 8:30 on Monday morning for 5 days of leading morning prayer on the Bishop's Facebook page, and find out more about the Deanery during the week. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you very much.